Welcome to the channel all about economic board games. I have got a beast for you today. I'm going to be giving you a run through of Kanban. You've got the publishers here, you can see the designer. This one will play 2 to 4 players. It says 60 minutes to, well, 120. It's probably going to take you 2 to 3 hours in my opinion. Now this is a heavier complexity game, and this run through will consist of me acting as 2 players. We've got yellow and blue. I'll hopefully attempt to give you 1 round. We'll try our best. Now the whole game is about having this sort of car factory, and we are workers. Each individual person is going to be going to work each day and undertaking shifts to try and design cars and try and get them tested and produced. And you're going to be going to this board meeting and trying to impress Sandra and the chief executives, and you're trying to score victory points for that. But there's a lot more going on than just that. So basically it's a factory producing cars, and you're trying to design and do loads of stuff as well as you can. Now if you're after a shorter insight into the video, then go and check out my overview last week. Hopefully this will give you a better insight into sort of the intricacies of how everything plays out. So we have sort of set it all up. I'm not going to go too heavy on the rules. I'm just going to hopefully explain departments as we go through. I will explain what the areas are if it looks very confusing from the onset, and then we'll dive straight in. So I'm only going to say these once because I'm typically refer to the colours just as colours rather than what they are. But the cars are all made up of, you've got these designs here. So this is the design department. You can see it's got this outline, and this is where you're going to get designs and bring them to your little garage here at the bottom. You have got the HR bottom here. Where is it? Just this line here. That's to do with keeping track of time, getting rewards, what have you, and you've got your little meeples. You've got the sort of head office and administration up in this area, which is where you're going to go and get your seats around the table and impress Sandra with what achievements you've had. This area is logistics. This is where you're going to get the parts to sort of upgrade cars. So you can see cars have got these colours here. So in terms of what the colours are, then you've got black, which are chassis. There's none there at the moment, but we've got spare cubes on the side. You've got blue, which is transmission. You've got orange, which is turbo. Pink is engines. Suspension is yellows, which is none out there, and brakes are in white, but I'm going to refer to them as colours because I get so muddled. This whole area up here is the assembly line department, and you can see that's where all the cars are, and they funnel out through here into the the testing and innovation department. And finally you've got this sort of area here, which is recycling. You can use at any point. So 7 areas. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 they call it, 5, 6 and 7. And on your player board, you can put cars, you can put your engine pieces and your cubes. Essentially, you can store your designs down here, and you're going to put upgraded designs on the side. Right, let's dive straight in then. So let's say yellows go first. We've already picked at the beginning of the game, this is 2-player setup. You've got the chance to take one of these designs, and you get one of the cubes as well. So I've kind of taken a red for blue and a black for the yellow players here, and they've got their respective cubes. So the first thing you're going to do is on this sort of track here, which keeps an eye on how well trained you are, I guess. You've got this 0 spot, and you're going to pick where you're going to go, and this will determine turn order as well as which benefits. So let's just say yellow aren't too fussed about turn order. They go for the last one, and they're going to gain one of these time symbols. Now the whole game is about time and shifts. So you can see the green arrow means you've gained a shift, and when you gain it, you put it next to your board, and you'll acquire that on the next round. I believe you get that on the next round for the first dibs. We'll assume so. And you can see as you go to these workstations, you get a certain number of shifts to do certain things. So blue's going to go, and they're going to go, well, they might as well go and get a book. So you can see there's a little symbol for a book stash here. They're going to stash that on there, and that's basically extra training they can get in any of these departments. So each department has got these areas here where your tokens, as they go up, you get more training, and you get certified to unlock certain parts of your board, and you get bonuses and plaques for going all the way to the top. But that will all become more apparent. So we've done the first thing is select the sort of turn order and what bonuses you want. Obviously, if you want to go first, and you're in a 4-player game, typically there's going to be no bonus there. So now we go to to the department phase, I believe it's called, which is where you're going to pick your departments, and in turn order blue is first. Now you got these departments which you're going to be working from left to right, so you can see there's 2 workstations here which relates to this testing and innovation area. You've got 2 here for the assembly line, another 2 for logistics, another 2 for the design area, and another 2 for the administration. Now, importantly, in this game, you are going to be being managed by Sandra, which is representing the pink meeple, and it depends what mood you wish to play the game, and you can play with the mean mood or the nice mood. And essentially, if you go with the nice mood, you start on 0 victory points, and you're always going to get benefits for, well, let's just give you an example. So in testing and innovation, you're going to be rewarded for having 2 or more upgrades, and she's going to advance the car certain amounts. Well, they all do the action at the bottom, but there's actually a better sheet for this. I've printed one off so you can see Sandra's review. She's going to be looking at upgraded designs in that one, and you get various benefits, victory points and all that. I'll have to refresh myself now. Actually, I can't remember what that one is, but essentially if you're in the mean mood, yeah, that's right, you're going to have a penalty for having 2 or fewer designs in the design area, and you're going to be losing points depending on how much time, but hopefully we'll give you an example of that. So blue is going to decide which area to go, and in the first round Sandra's just sitting in her office doing a bit of admin for that first day. And there is, I should add, there's the way the game's going to trigger end is you've got these 3 rounds here, and there's 3 what we call weeks of work, and when one's on 3 and the other's on 2, that triggers game end, and vice versa. So blue is going to go for a few designs, I think. Now this is the design department, and it will sort of show the importance soon as to which spot to go to, but let's just go for the maximum one. So you can see there's 2 workspaces in this department. One's going to offer you 3 shifts, which is 3 things you can do, and the other one's going to offer you 2 things you can do. Now remember, the order of play is going to go from left to right, so maybe yellow's going to go here and oust them first, and that really becomes apparent as to the location we go to when Sandra comes into play. Now what you're trying to achieve then is you've got these sort of goals in the boardroom, and they do a host of things. This one, whoever has yellow or blue cubes, you're going to score 2 victory points up to 3 times. So if you've got 3 yellow, you could score a maximum of 6 points, and you can see only 3 people can talk about this event. So you are trying to sort of achieve these to get your victory points. You've also got some of your own ones in your hand. One of them is going to be your pet project, which you can work on in secret. So maybe you want to go for the black cars, and you get 4 points if you've got for each car off the maximum of 2. One of them is going to replenish the next round, and the other one you just hold for future. So that's kind of your focus, is to get your victory points from these. You've also potentially going to get a lot of victory points from upgrading certain cars with these cubes as you get requirements, and you're going to get victory points potentially on here and various goals around the board as well. You can see the more training you get, first place is going to get 5, then 3, then 1 point. So if you're sort of yellows here at the end of the game, they're going to get 5 points. So a host of little areas you can get points from as well. Now yellow's up, and yellow is deciding, right, they've gone for designs. Sandra's not really doing a fat lot. She's in a good mood as well. We are going to maybe, it was too early to do sort of any testing and innovation. Maybe we're just going to go and get some parts ready. Yeah, we'll go and do that. We'll go and get some parts. So Sandra's not moving. We now undertake the actual phase itself. It's got a certain name. I can't remember what exactly it's called. Let me just find out. Yep, so this is the working phase then, with department selection phase, and now we're into working. And yellow is first. You go from left to right. Yellow has 3 shifts they can do in this area. Now, what can you do in logistics? So this is all about getting these car parts to be able to upgrade them or to spend them on acquiring things later on. And there's a selection out there at the moment, so you could spend 1 action just to take a whole bunch of them from an area. Remember, you've only got what plays this yellow, you've only got 4 spots to keep cubes at the moment, unless you get certified and unlock them. So of the 3 actions then, we're going to demonstrate what you can do with them. So we're going to just spend 1 action to go and get some training. We're also going to spend 1 action to take what do we fancy? Well, let's show you an order. So you have these Kanban cards in front of you. You've got two, you keep them secret, and you're gonna, I'll demonstrate how these work. So this is how you're gonna get more resource, more car parts onto the warehouse there. Let's just say we were really after orange ones. So we'll take this one. Now, interestingly, you've got this sort of area you put the car down and you spend the time. So we've spent our second time, but you gain a time for later. So we'll move at one here. And you now have the option to, you see this sort of line here, to pick either these four and those two go there, or you kind of shimmy it over and you've got two here and four there. So whichever way you choose determines which resources come out, depending on if the color matches, and you can rotate it around as well. So for us, you know, if we were particularly after something that wasn't out there, for example white, if we had white there, then white's going to get one. Blue is on this side rather than that side, but that's fine, there's two cubes there. Black is on this side and that's there as well, we could do with one of them. Pink is on this side, but it's on that side that it's produced, so it's quite hard to explain, but you can see it more in person there. So I'll give you a demo. So white's going to get one good, blue's on the wrong side, black's going to get one good, pink's on the wrong side, and orange is going to get two goods. So that was our second shift of the day we've completed. Remember, we've got three, but we actually did bank one for undertaking that for later on, which is nice. And third action, maybe we are just going to take, should I really take three orange? We'll take three orange. I'm not sure whether that's the best thing, but we've filled up our sort of garage of cubes at the moment, and until we sort of get past this training spot and unlock that, we can then take this off and we've got space for another cube. Now, if you ever need something a cube that maybe you just couldn't acquire, unless it's in the boardroom, you can use this recycling center at any other time except on the boardroom. You can't use it then. So for example, we could trade here anytime, maybe one of these orange cubes because it's a cube that's not currently there, and then we could take a white cube. Job done. Now you always have to take a cube, put a cube that isn't there and take a cube that is there, one for one. So this card is then discarded. We replenish. You've always got two of those Kanban cards in your hand, and that's our three actions. We then place him down to say he's exhausted, they're exhausted for the day, and we go carry on. Right, so there's no one here, this player's going to get three actions. So in there, with the design area, you've got a choice to take up to three of these, or you could do a bit of training as well. You can see it on here. So blue's going to take a training, so that's one of their three, and they're thinking, right, I need some designs. Now these designs, you can either upgrade them by paying improving it with the good, for example. So this is a pink cube, and so they'd be after pink cubes, and once they do that, it's kind of upgraded when you need to test it first. So it's a bit of a long-winded process. So you would literally acquire this design, you get the good. Once the car sort of comes out and you've got a green car in your factory, because that's one of the ways you're going to actually score this part, that's green car is going to get tested on here. Eventually you take the car and put it in your garage. You're then going to go here and actually get the car tested by putting your cube from here onto one of these, so you'll gain a benefit. In this case, you want to put on the green car, and in this case the pink would go up in value to show that that car's been tested. Your company now produces this car slightly better with better engines by the look of it, and at the end of the game all your kind of upgrades are going to be multiplied either at the end of the week for a few points, and at the end of the game, depending on where it is, there'll be multipliers as well, and you'll get extra points if other people have been working on that sort of car as well. So that's kind of why you want these. You'll also kind of need to maybe get a couple, because you want some to show you've upgraded it, but to actually acquire the cars, you're going to need to hand in one of your green designs to pick it up. So there's quite a few layers to what you want to do with these designs, but it's generally the first process you go into to get things started. So they're going to take a green. Now, in terms of why you want these, you can see our pet projects, or maybe we don't want to go for green because blues are sort of after red. So the more red cars they have, so remember, to acquire that red card, they're going to have to push it out, and they're going to have to trade one of these red ones in, and they're going to get potentially 4 points times 2 for the red cars. So maybe they're more keen to get the red ones. So if we take this one, they've already got one red as well. We plonk that in there, we've got up to 3 more, and you can see that if you take these cars from further to the right, they've been around, hanging around the designs for a little while, and you get potentially benefits, an extra time or an extra book for taking those, and these will get replenished at the end as well. So we can only take from these. If you did get certified past this level, you could take one from the top of these as well. So we're going to go for another red one. That's our second action, and well, third action, because we'd already done some training, and these are going to get replenished from the top then. Now if so we've done our 3 actions. That's done there. So we have what we've done. So we now move straight on pretty much, and the first thing we do, we go left to right again. So yellows is going to go first, which is interesting because you can see some spots in this case is blocked, so they couldn't actually go there, but they could go here. You can't in a 2-player game go to a department which Sandra is in, so we couldn't use this administration area yet. Now what's interesting about the administration area is that you can go here and you can replicate any action elsewhere from here. So if someone is, if both players were blocking out the test and innovation area, you could go here and do an action there from the administration, which is kind of a nice option. So yellows have now got some cubes. They kind of really want some design here, but they know Sandra's going to go to the first apartment, so you know what, we're not going to think too much. We're going to go for the design. It's a shame blue's there because they're only getting the 2. Blue's now up and they've got some designs. They're thinking, right, I now need to get some options to, they're going to need a yellow and a black cube. There's a black, maybe they could get a white to trade it with this yellow. So they're going to go to that spot there, which will give them on future rounds next round sort of starting player. Now Sandra, she sort of does this sort of funnel over, and she starts in the first empty workspace of a department. So there's no one here, so she's going to be going there. Now I'll bring these back, but let's just assume these 2 were here. She'd kind of go, right, someone's in there, someone's in there. So she'd actually skip to the next apartment. So that's kind of how Sandra's going to work. Now where were these? I think blue was on that one, wasn't it? Because yellow, that was it, because that was blocking. So and the reason that's important is because she's actually going to be first here, and she's going to be looking, we're in the nice mood. So testing and innovation, let me remind myself, so you're going to get a reward for having 2 or more upgrades. Now clearly no one's got upgrades just yet, and it's funny because throughout the whole rule book you can see where the rules have nice Sandra and mean Sandra as you go through, and it's just a nice way the rule book sort of encompass that as well. It's I think the designers recommended the game to be played best with the mean mode, because it makes it really competitive as to getting up to these areas. So Sandra is, let's crack on then. So she's in this testing and innovation area, and she is giving us a reward for having 2 or more upgrades. Now clearly no one has got any upgrades, so no one's getting any benefits for that. She'll also advance the pace car 1 space. So this is the pace marker, and you can see you've got this sort of, in a 2-player game, this particular board comes out, you've got 1 space there, that'll be second space. Once it goes on or past the checkered space, you're going to have this big meeting token go up here to represent that a meeting's going to take place, and at the end of that work day a meeting is going to be held. This comes back, and then you move that 1 forward. And remember what we said, when it gets to 3 and that gets to 2, or that gets to 3 and that gets to 2, it triggers game end, and we tally up the points. So we've advanced the pace car 1 space. Reward applies to the players furthest ahead on the training track. So the reward, so they're both technically not moved anywhere. Reward is the points equal to the number of shifts in the shift bank, and that would currently be yellow would be on 1, blue would be on 0, but I don't think you get anything because they haven't actually moved anywhere yet. Now you can see the difference from the mean mode. It basically says that the penalty is equal to the number of shifts less than 5 in the shift book. So if you've got, you can see there's a little red mark here, equal to the number of shifts less than 5. So if you're on a 1, you want to be getting up to here, because if you've got 0, you're going to be losing 5 points in the nasty mode. And you can see the penalty is for having 2 or fewer. So if you don't have, if you have 2 or fewer, in this case, the testing and innovation, you're going to get that that negative consequence, which is why you start with 15 points. So I'm rambling on a little bit here, so let's crack on. So she's tested that area. Not a fat lot really happens other than she's moved that forward, so she's done there. We now go over to blues, and they are doing logistics again, and they've got 3 actions. So let's just say blues are after yellow and black. So for one action, they're going to take all the blacks in there. They're going to take the white one in the hope of recycling it, which, you know what we'll just do now, which is they're after a yellow, aren't they? And the third action, maybe they're going to use one of their they're going to go up on the training, actually. Now, when you go up, you go on top of someone who's previously there. It shows your the newest or the most trained of recent times. I'm probably not really going to get the chance to go up a lot of these doing sort of one sort of I'm not even sure I'm going to get around to do one phase at this rate, but basically when you get past here, I've already said it, you get a chance to unlock that particular area on your board. So you can see here it matches up to this sort of symbol. It means you're going to get extra cubes. When you get to the top, you get an extra seat for the boardroom, and you get one of these plaques, which, there's random things under that, extra books. So they've done 3 actions. Over to these guys, designs. What are we going to go for? Let's just go not think too hard of yellow, because we might get that one, and maybe we're going to go for this black one because we're going to get an extra time for doing so. I probably should have added, we had a time previously, so we should have upped that for yellow, and we spend that back, and then this is going to be on the next round. And that was their 2 things. So these shimmy across, these come out. That's that one. Over to so pink's gonna, Sandra doesn't test the same area. She's coming over here to the first apartment, and blue is now thinking, oh dear, if I'd have gone there before her, I could have potentially upped some training and got some rewards. Blue, though, is, what are we doing? Well, I've sort of demonstrated this logistics area. We've done quite a few designs. Let's just go and show you something in this assembly line area, which is kind of, well, a tad too late for impressing Sandra. And yellows are going to go down here and sort of show you a little bit about this testing and innovation. Right then, so over to yellows. Actually, they're going to go here because they kind of know no one else is going to budge them out, and they've got free shifts. So what can we do in this area then? So the first thing is you could take a car, and you can see, depending, let's just assume, blue was on here and green. If you want the first car behind the pace car, it's going to cost you 1 time. Second car, if you just wanted to pinch at, 2 time, and then it's 2 time and then 3 time. So that's how you're going to pay to get these cars. Unfortunately, there's nothing there at the moment, and you can see you're going to get, there's some goals to acquire as well. So the first to get 3 cars is going to get an extra seat, 5 cars, and then whoever's upgraded 2 designs or 3 designs is extra seats. And these seats are powerful for releasing your seats at the board, for giving you more opportunities to impress with your accomplishments. What else can we do then? So we can up our training like any other department. We could have tested our upgrades, but we haven't actually got any, so that's a bit of a waste. You could have literally, say if, for example, we had no, we can do that actually. We can test them here. That's the whole point. So we're going to upgrade. So we went for the black cube, didn't we? So we're going to upgrade this black car, and we've got the black cube. So for doing so, we get to turn it over, and it sort of shows you that you've got 2 victory points, which we can score straight away. And it shows the cube that was used to do that. And this black cube is going to go somewhere on whichever area you want. On you can see all the different types of cars, different sports cars and sizes. So this one we're going to put, say, on here to gain an extra time. We'll put that in front of us for next round. The black cube is going to go up 1. And what that means is we've sort of tinkered with this sports car, this black car, and we've improved its chassis by the looks of it, and we've got better value for that. Now that's all hunky dory, but we we're not actually going to score a lot unless we have the cars for it. And on the back of this sort of player, what we got, the nice and the mean mode, you can see what's going to happen at the end of week scoring. So once Sandra gets back to her office, for each car in your garage, count the upgrades to that model. So at the moment we've got no cars, but if we did, say, hypothetically have a black car here, you're going to get 2 points for each upgrade you made to it. So, you know, we've contributed 1 upgrade to it, so we're going to get 2 points for each black car. So if we had 5 black cars, if that was unlocked, 5 times the 2 would be 10, and we're going to earn 1 point for each upgrade someone else made. So it might be that some other players sort of upgraded, you know, black as well, and they've put one of their, maybe a yellow token on here, and they've improved the car. We're going to get 1 point for that as well. But more importantly, at the final scoring is where this is really going to play out, as long as you've got the matching cars in your garage. So let's just see where we are. You've got training track score, right, tested designs. So you're going to score the tested design, so the design value depicted at the bottom of innovation, which is here. So if you've got so 1 black car and black sort of been bumped up throughout the game, it's going to be worth 5 points for that type of car based on how many cars you have. So if you've got, say, 3 black cars, you're going to be scoring 3 times the 5 points, which is great, 15 points, which is a lot in this game. So that's sort of the importance of upgrading. So you're kind of going to need to get the cars out, which I'll kind of show you on this next department. But we've done a little bit of tinkering to the designs. We've made the design better for the chassis, and we had 3 actions. So we did the 1. Did we do any more? We'll probably just go up on the train, and 2 free. So that's kind of what you're doing in this area, and you can see there's bonuses, as I said, to getting those sort of upgrades done first. We could do another upgrade. That we've got this yellow and another black one. However, we haven't actually got the matching cubes, and you can see we could only acquire, well, we couldn't acquire any of those because we couldn't trade an orange in because there's already one there, and we couldn't trade a white in because there's already one there, and we don't really want the blue either. So we're a bit stuck in terms of progressing anymore. So they've done as many shifts as they can. Over to pink. So Sandra is reviewing this area, the assembly line. So what have we got for this one? So assembly line reward for 2 or more cars. No one's got any cars, so no one's getting the victory points for that. And she's empty all assembly spaces. So you can see at the top here, cubes would potentially go in here for pushing out cars, and she empties all those out, and there is none there. And the reward applies to the player furthest ahead on the training track, and again, we're both even on that one, and the reward would be equal to the number of shifts you've put in your bank. So I should say that you can only ever work 4 shifts in a day. So you can see, for example, if you're here, you've got 2 shifts, so sort of each quadrant makes up a shift. You could sort of upgrade that to meet a full day's working by spending these extra shifts here. So let's say, for example, yellow was on this spot. They'd use the 2 shifts they've acquired, and they could maybe spend 1 or 2 extra shifts max to complete a full day's work. If they're on this spot, which they were, they could do the 3 shifts. They could only spend 1 shift because, you know, there's only 1 quadrant left. So that's how you can spend extra time to maybe do more stuff in that department. So Sandra's done what she needed to do. There was no cubes to remove. And blue is going to, so they've got 3 things they can do. So they're going to go 1 on the training, and they're going to get a cube. So the way this works is they want to produce a car. They've yet to produce it, and they're probably more incentivized to do the yellow or the green. So let's just do a yellow car. Now, if they did hypothetically want a black car out, they'd need to put a cube down that matches the black area, because this car now produces better chassis. So let's give you an example of that. Not that this would be the one I do, but they've got to spend a black cube, and they put it in one of these 4 areas, and because that car requires that better chassis to do it, and they've put that car. From then on, there's no other requirement, so the next player or the same player later on can put a different random cube down. You can't have the same cube though again. So this now means they get to push these once because they spent one of their turns, and you can see the little arrows that flow out. So they've basically produced a black car, and that's going to sort of replace that one, and it's going to push this one down. Well, essentially it's going to push, so you can see the arrows. And you know, we maybe wanted the black car out, but we're going to have to push one of these out first. Now green and yellows give us sort of extra seats if we do so, so we're going to push this blue one across. You've got to follow the arrows. We're going to push this green one down, and the green one's now there. And until it comes out of these one of these three spots, if we go for the middle, we're going to get 2 victory points straight away, and we'll also acquire a seat at the table as well for having got a green car out. So that was one action. We're then going to do another one. Which player was this? Blue, wasn't it? So blue is going to spend a yellow cube. Now this is why you want to get quite a few cubes from logistics. We're going to spend the yellow cube on here, and we're going to push out straight away a green car, that is, isn't it? Yeah, green car. So boom, that's going to be pushed out of here. That's coming down, and that one's there now. So that's kind of how all this flows around on the assembly line. This comes out, so blue's going to get 2 points straight away, and this car heads straight onto the track. And for having done the demand tokens, they're going to get a seat which you can keep for next round, and then you have to spend it. You can see that with 1 victory point, or you can just get it straight away. And blue has unrevealed, where are blues? I think they're these ones. That's yellow. They are at the top here. So they've revealed a seat, which means they've got 1 seat to be able to speak at the boardroom meeting, which is great. And once you use those, though, at that meeting, they get turned back over. You can keep some if you don't want to use them, so you're going to have to go out and acquire them again. So that was 2 actions. And blue, oh, yeah, we spent 1 here as well, so that's all 3 actions. Okie doke. Now, we literally just carry on, folks. The yellow is now thinking, where are we here? So we're going to, well, you know what? I'm not going to go too much. I'm not going to play too much, to be on further, because it will literally take me about an hour until Sandra finally makes it over here. But let me just go through some areas and then explain how this part will work after. So we've shown you I'll go in the specific order, which was number 1, which was down here, which is the innovation and testing. So you essentially, yep, you can go up the training. We're trying to move this car around. So if I went here next time and I wanted to take a car, if I took the car, this would then move 1 forward, and this means it can go in your garage. So if yellow had done that, and you can see you got the capacity to fit 4 at the moment, and you're going to get extra benefits depending on where you put it. So if I put it here, I get an extra seat, I got extra time, extra books. Now books are training, so you can use them at any point to increase in any department, or is it where you are? I can't recall now, but you can basically go up without having to use actions from here. These are your sort of tokens to get any good you want, which is really nice if there's something that's not quite out there and you don't want to waste actions to do it, and you're going to get extra ones of those there. And if you do unlock this, you can see eventually you got to choose one of those 4 there, which is really nice. So that's sort of how this car thing works. And once you get on the checkered line or past it, let's just assume that's happened, and we'll demonstrate that. I've sort of explained how these works. You get extra benefits for going there and increasing the innovation, so you get more points at the end of the week and more points at the end of the game as well. Over here, we've done the assembly line, so you put in the right matching tokens at the top to if anything has been innovated, and you're pushing these out, hopefully meeting demand and getting more cars out for more victory points. So you can see the layers already. You want to get those out to get the right cars off, because you need the right cars in here to really score these designs. And you can see the importance of logistics, of getting the right cubes to be able to complete these designs, or just spend the right cubes to get the cars produced, as we've already explained. So that's the importance of that. The designs we've gone through, you want to get the right designs, which it's kind of one of the first things you do, really, to be able to do and buy all these other cars. We have also got, now I should say that I took this green car just to demonstrate, but I should have handed in a green design to have done that, and obviously they didn't have any, so they wouldn't have effectively been able to take that car if it had come out, and that would have just been behind the track. So we've explained designs, and again, this is where the stashes of things are. You've got a few extra bonuses here if you manage to get certified in 4 areas or 5, and you can see as you get certified in an area, which is passing this, you get to go up. So they would have started in 0, they've gone up to the 1, and they would have chosen an extra benefit there. Let's just say they went for the 3 victory points, and the more certified you get, the better. There's more benefits and you get more seats, but more importantly, you get to speak first at the meeting, which is great, because you'll see the importance of that in a minute. This is where you're keeping track of your time, which you can spend as you wish, meeting the requirements we said, and some achievements at the end of the game, so you can see, has anyone got it? Well, actually, this one out here, you can see whoever has the most time is going to score points for that. So that's kind of the board, victory point track around it. So let's go over to administration and the meeting. So I've explained administrations where you can undertake actions from elsewhere. The meetings then. So finally, when Sandra gets back to her office, she's triggered end of the week and we're going to do a meeting. Or if the card reaches the checkered line, that would trigger a meeting. Now in the meeting, whoever's furthest left on the certification track is going to go first. And depending on how many seats you've got is how many you can participate in. So let's just say yellow's got 2, blue's only got 1, disaster. So yellow goes, right, I want to no, blue goes first because they're higher on here, but they've only got 1 seat and they're really going to go for either one of them or one of their pet projects. And they've been working on a pet project, which was probably, let's just say, red cars. And they've got, let's just say, 2 red cars in here, hypothetically, and they're going to score. They can score up to 2 red cars, which is great because they had 2, and they get 4 points for each, so they get 8 points. Next, and they've literally used their 1 seat, so you'd put your 1 seat here. Then let's hypothetically say that yellows wanted to really come to this one as well, because they had 3 red cards, and that's what they've been working on. They could only use 2 of them, but they were the second player to come in, and Sandra's getting a bit annoyed now. She's like, right, I've had enough of hearing about these cars. You can only go 1 less this time. So she can only, she's only happy to hear about 1 cool red car they've designed or they've built and tested. So they'd only get 4 times the 1 if yellows did want to go there. Where's their seats on here? And basically, yellow's gone, blue's got no more seats, so they can't go, and yellow can either save that seat for the next round, or they can choose one of their pet projects. Let's just say they go for this black car. Well, actually, let's choose one of these, and they've got 2 yellow goods on, well, not goods, but pieces. They go, right, I'm going to score 2 of them, so 2 times the 2 is 4 points, and that is it. You basically bidding for, well, not bidding, but you're trying to impress with these specific things that Sandra is after, and you've got your own pet projects as well. All these, once they've been used, you're going to sort of discard them, and you're going to replenish 1 from your hand, and you get 2 more in a 2-player game from this big stash here. And that is it. And as you go week 3, you're going to be going back there, and you can also unlock an extra seat. So that's the main bulk of victory points. Now, I should add a bit more about Sandra. Let's just sort of tell you what she does in each area. So when she gets to the testing, she advances the pace car. She's going to empty all these spots in the assembly line. And if ever one of those is full, that gets removed as well. She's going to remove all parts, but 1 from each warehouse. So some of these had like 4 blues there. She's going to be taking 3 of them away. She's going to be removing the 4 rightmost designs from here. In a 2-player game, she removes all of them. And on the the administration, she's going to advance the week marker, then score the end of the week. So I should add that we've now done the meeting and we score the end of the week. And as I say on the back, you're going to get 2 points for each upgraded design you've made, for each car you've got in your garage, and 1 point for the other thing I said. Now, final scoring then. Score final goal tiles, so use one of your face-up seats for each final goal you want to score. So you can see whoever has 7, you're going to get 6 victory points if you've got your extra shifts up to 7. You're going to get 8 points if you've got 3 books, and you're going to get 7 points if you've reached 2 spots maximum on these training areas. You can see the red seats. So if yellow's got all the way up to there, on there and there, they're gonna hit those end goals. Great. You're going to score your hours bank, so 1 point per bank shift. So if you've got 7 shifts, points for those. Score tiles on your board, so 1 point for the books. You can see it says here 1 point for those, 1 point for your seats as well. Score each car in your garage, depending on the value depicted on the wall between the test track and innovation. Which one was that? Value depicted on the wall between test track and innovation. Oh yeah, that's these here. So you can see 6 points for the black car, 5 for the red. So massively influences which cars you're going for. You've got the design value depicted at the bottom of innovation. So again, if you've got these designs times these based on the cars, and then the training track. So 5, 3, and 1, depending on where you're on each training track. And that is it, folks. So a lot going on there. Hopefully that gave you a little insight. I'd love to do about an hour and a half video of going properly through it, but that's not sort of videos I do on this channel. I like to just give you a quick insight. So there we are, folks. Hope you enjoy.